Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Manahil Rimorjawali. I am a student of Rehan School Kurinki campus. I am thrilled to be here today for this special interview, and I am from Karachi, Pakistan, and we have a very truly remarkable guest with us today. His name is Baba Sam Shelley, and he is known for his incredible work in helping streets out and overwhelmed entrepreneurs find peace and joy by overcoming negative thinking. Now, let's extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest, Mr. Baba Sam, and begin our conversation by delving into his fascinating life journey. Baba Sam, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Manna Hill. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, sir. So, first of all, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Yeah, so basically, I'm Baba Sam. They call me the Miracle Man. I live in New York City. I had all these chronic diseases that I no longer have. So that's where I help people out of chronic disease and into a life of joy and happiness and thriving.
All right, sir, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your introduction. So, now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. Can you tell us more about your journey and how you become a spiritual teacher and founder of Beyond Head Trace LLC?
Yeah, so basically, I was a very sick man for 38 years. I know it's probably more 8 years than your age, that I was sick for 38 years with all these issues from bipolar to multiple sclerosis. I lost the ability to walk and I had all these issues. And I never knew a way out because I was completely identified with my thoughts, with my body. So I'm depressed. I have multiple sclerosis. I have bipolar. I became those illnesses. I was really attached to them. So what I really want people to see is that we are the deeper essence within us. Like Manahel, if you look at different pictures throughout your life, from a toddler to a teenager to where you are now, you had all these bodies. But where did you go? The one who sees through the eyes has never changed. We just have these different human bodies, but that consciousness within us is the one that remains the same. If we go into this consciousness, then there's nothing that's impossible, there's nothing that's incurable, because all of this stuff is all mental, all these limitations. So basically, a Baba is simply a spiritual teacher to help them remember who we really are, that we are this consciousness, the spirit, the soul, whatever you wish to call it. We are not necessarily this body, these thoughts, these beliefs, these opinions, but we allow that to define us, that I am this body, I am this age, I am this sex. And it creates all these limitations when we're all equal in the eyes of Allah or all equal in the eyes of God. And then this mind creates all these limitations that simply don't exist in God's eyes, if you will. They're just man-made, they're mental, they're not really this life.
All right, sir, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is on your screen. What inspired you to create relief from chronic illness, and how does it help straight out entrepreneurs?
Well, typically, if you're dealing with a chronic illness, that's something that medical community has deemed incurable, like multiple sclerosis, some cancers, diabetes, migraines. There's all these health issues out there. And to me, it's just a mental idea that it's incurable. We really don't know if it's incurable unless we tap into that deeper essence within ourselves. And now, with entrepreneurs, they're typically trying to run a business, they're dealing with lots of stress. And stress is really harmful for the body. It creates all these stress related diseases like hypertension, high blood pressure, heart issues. So we need to let go of that stress. And we can let go of that stress by being here in this moment. Most people don't know what being here in this moment actually means because if we're in thoughts, thinking, we are not here. We're not aware that we're sitting, feet on the ground, that we're listening. The mind isn't aware, it's caught up in the narrative, it's caught up in the story. So for the help the entrepreneurs is to realize that's my mind chasing thoughts. I just need to relax. Actually, you have to slow down to go faster because the mind has all this busyness, all this distraction, but you can actually go faster if you slow down and say, what is really important in this moment? Then acting on those most important things as opposed to chasing the mind's to-do list. I need to do this. I need to do that. Oh, I need to do this. No, you slow it down. And they did actual studies. People that are in this present moment experience it 3 times longer than someone that's caught up in their mind. So you actually get more time the more present you are. And it makes no sense to the mind because the mind's always chasing the next thing. But if we just slow down and focus on what's important in this moment, that's all that really matters. And when we're really present, really focused, that's when we're the strongest. When we're busy, distracted, we're actually weak because we're lost in thoughts. We're not really aware of the power and beauty of this moment.
All right, great. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is on your screen. How do you balance your role as a special teacher with your business endeavors as a CEO and founder?
Yeah, so once again, there goes that mind with definitions of trying to make a difference between the spiritual and material, but everything is spiritual. If you look at everything is spiritual, then there's no work-life balance, there's none of these labels, there's none of that, there's just this moment, that's all there really is, and the mind wants to create all these divisions between the human experience and the spiritual experience, but everything is a spiritual experience, and being a human is part of that spiritual experience, but the mind always wants this separation, division, when we could just slow it down and realize it's just life and different flavors of life that wants all these roles, responsibilities, rules, restrictions. And we want to be free of all of that and just live and enjoy life and be happy, smile, and just enjoy.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, could you share some key strategies or insights for overcoming negative thinking and finding peace and prosperity in life?
Yeah, so the whole key to finding, peace and getting out of this negative thinking are going beyond the head trash because negative thinking is really head trash. It's garbage. We need to put it out with the rest of the trash. It's keeping us sick. It's keeping us unhealthy. It's keeping us broke. It's keeping us poor. It's keeping us from enjoying life, all that negative thinking. So we have to realize peace is our natural state. And when you're fully here in this moment, you're peaceful. You're not caught up in all these thoughts that cause stress, worry, concerns, because you know in this deeper place that all is well, all is unfolding in perfect order when it makes absolutely no sense to the mind to realize that there's a greater intelligence at work that's within us, but we create all this mental interference that isn't helping us, that isn't supporting us, that is keeping people divided, separated, male, female, different rules, but we're all from the same source. We all originate from God, you could say, or Allah, but yet we have all this division. And to realize to the world of Allah, of God, there's no problems, there's no issues, everything's perfect, but we get caught up in these stories, this negative thinking, this mind trap that life has to be different, that we have to resist this moment. And we don't want to resist this moment. We want to allow this moment. If it's not desirable, we look for ways we can move that. Not going with the flow of society per se, but going with our own flow, our own way that feels right for us. Like, man, hell, you know what's best for you, but others are constantly trying to tell you what's best for you. So I'm just trying to empower people that Listen to your own voice, that deeper voice within you. Allow that to be your guide, as opposed to the mind pushing and demanding that you do all these things that ultimately don't make a difference. What makes a difference is, are you living life on your terms, the way you wish to live it? Or are others trying to define your life for you? And once you're free of that, then you can really create that life of your dreams, of your desires, because the universe, God, Allah wants the best for you. There's no limitations, there's no restrictions. If there are, they're mental. They're only mental. And we need to be free of that mental voice.
All right, sir. Great answer. Thank you so much for your answer, and thank you so much for your valuable answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, what do you believe is the most important message or lesson you want to convey to your audience as a special teacher?
Yeah, the best thing for people can do for themselves is just be themselves, be authentic. Usually put up all these masks, these false IDs to keep people happy, to keep people content, to meet their definition. But and ultimately, we just want to be authentic to ourselves. What is right for us? Might not be right for another person, but what is right for you? That you live in your body. You know it the best. So just be the authentic you, not being this fake version that the mind has created for you of just being here and just being yourself. That is enough. We have all these demands that we're not good enough, that we're not deserving, that we don't look right, that our appearance is wrong, all these stories. And we just want to be authentic to ourselves in our own voice, that I'm living life on my terms. Let me slow it down, let me relax, let me move from this deeper place. Because the mind wants me to chase, chase, chase. And there's no reason to chase. There's no scarcity in the universe. The scarcity, once again, is that mind creating limitations. So I just want people to be free, to be, it's okay to be them, just the way they are. They don't need to apologize to anyone for being who they are. Just being authentic to themselves is enough.
So can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your great answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, can you describe some of the special event or content that members of your free Facebook group and can expect to find?
And it's like on Zoom or something where we're talking about how to live a healthy, thriving life, even when the doctor told you that you're incurable. Once again, as we talked about earlier, we get this incurable story in our head, and we believe that we are indeed incurable. We don't really know until we dive into that true essence within us. What is our path? What is our way forward? It may not be incurable. There's always hope. You're alive, you're breathing. Now, if we just turn that awareness from thoughts as being your truth to that deeper essence, that's always to keep going back into this deeper essence and living from this deeper essence. If I realized this wisdom, this knowledge when I was your age, man, hell, life would be so much different. I wouldn't be taking my thoughts as the absolute truth, the opinions of others as the absolute truth. I would learn to be authentic to who I am and my own voice. What is right for me may not be right for another. So that's what I really try to establish in this group is it's okay to be you. And we'll have videos and events to help us ingrain who we really are. The true job of a spiritual teacher is not to instill you with concepts, with more beliefs, more ways of being. A true spiritual teacher is to remind you of your own consciousness, your own light, and listening to your own voice and living from your own voice that you inhabit this body, you know it the best. Don't allow others to take your power from you, because Allah, God, has instilled all of us with the same power within us, but the mind has stolen it, if you will. You have allowed other people to steal your power. Like when I was seeing all these doctors, they were the knowledgeable ones. They knew what was best for me. Maybe on some aspect they did, but ultimately I lived in the body. They had all these theories, but didn't have the actual direct experience of having multiple sclerosis or bipolar. So until you have that direct experience, you really don't know. Sometimes trying to get people to realize in these groups is you have it all within you. Don't allow somebody else to steal your happiness, your power. Life is too short for that. So we're here to enjoy life, to have fun, to see the dance of life, the play of life, the life.
That's wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this answer. I really appreciate your answer. Thank you so much, sir. So, my next question is what's your perspective on the importance of kindness and empathy, especially in the age of social media in relationship to personal and personal growth?
Yeah, so that's the important thing is just to be kind and gentle with everyone. We don't live in their body. We don't know what they're experiencing. We we can't always demand our way, that it has to be done this way or that way. You're just trying to steal their power. Just focus on you and being kind and gentle with yourself and let that reflect into the world. That there's just too much demands of others. The best thing you can do is to be kind, to realize I don't live in their body. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know their experience. And once you can look back and saying, we're all that consciousness, we're all spirit, soul, but we get hung up on the identity that you're separate than me. And it's not true. We're all intertwined, we're all interconnected. And the way we can impact the world is through kindness, through being gentle, not being mean. And that's what you usually see in social media is a lot of meanness. You wouldn't say them to them in person if they're right here in front of you, but you would, and that's putting on that fake mask, that fake identity. Just treat everyone the same no matter where you meet them, because it doesn't matter if they're 10,000 miles away or right here in front of you. We're all trying to do our very best. It's very difficult to be a human, a lot of challenges. So we need to just relax, take a breath. Everyone's doing their best based on their understanding of the situation. And if I don't live in their body, I don't know their situation. Even if I've experienced MS, like they're going through MS or bipolar or whatever thing they're going through, it's different for them, even if I experienced it. So I can't expect them to live my life. And I wouldn't want them to live my life. They came here to live their own life on their own terms. But yet we get so caught up that you're not living the right way. Well, the right way, that's for you. It's not for you. What is right for you? I can't say what's right for you. That'd be kind of rude. 1,000 miles away, you can make all these things, but you would never say that to the person directly in front of their face. So it's just the same thing that there is no time space, that we're all interconnected or we're all intertwined with each other.
All right, sir, great. So, now let's move on to the next question. My next question is how has your own personal journey influenced your approach to helping others find relief from chronic illness and negative thinking?
Yeah, so in my own case, I was a sick man for 38 years. I didn't have any separation between I was completely down with my thoughts. I am bipolar, I have multiple sclerosis, I have PTSD. I was completely identified with my concepts, my labels. I didn't know myself as consciousness, as spirit, as soul. And most people don't know themselves as that as well. That's what I try in the relief from chronic illness is to remind people who they really are and not get so attached to the labels or not so attached to complaining and creating more and more issues. Because I did that for 38 years, and that just makes you sicker and sicker. And I was getting sicker and sicker until I turned things around. And turning things around can be very quick or very slow. It's all individual journey. Once again, you can't put demands and expectations on others. That's not fair to them. So you just got to slow it down and just realize everyone's going through something. Slow it down. So I'm out there now helping people remember who they are, that we get so caught up in the pain. Especially pain is really hard to separate yourself. When the body's in immense pain, it's very hard to create that separation of realizing I'm spirit, I'm soul, I'm not impacted by this human experience. But trying to get that separation is a little challenging at times.
Oh, that's a great answer. Thank you so much for your answer. So, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs looking to achieve sense of joy and prosperity in their lives while managing stress and overwhelm?
Well, stress and overwhelm are coming from the mind. The mind has all these demands, all these expectations. It's what we talked about earlier, was just slowing down, becoming present in this moment. When you're fully here in this moment, there is no stress, there is no overwhelm. It's your natural state of joy, of happiness. So we're always natural and happy until the mind comes up with a story that takes away the happiness, the joy, because it's creating a story. And it's just a story, but it's not the absolute truth that your spirit is untouched by this experience, that we just have to operate from this deeper, deeper place. And that's hard for some people to understand, that there is a deeper essence within them when they're so identified in school, especially that this is your name, this is your grade, this is what you do, this is what you study. They try to dictate life to you in school, and it becomes part of your identity. So we need to unwind all of that and say, who are you really? You know, you are this consciousness, you are this spirit, this soul. Whatever word you want to resonate with you is perfect. But you're this deeper essence that is beyond words, beyond language, beyond time and space, beyond everything. Is just to be here and relax into this moment. Like, I'm not going to rah rah people with this big motivational speech because that's just going to influence the mind. I want people to let go of the mind that's so conditional, to a space where they're just at peace with who they are and how they're living their life, being gentle and kind with themselves, which ripples out into the world.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So, looking ahead, my last question is: what are your future goals and aspiration for your work with Beyond Heart Trace and relief from chronic illness?
Yeah, my goal and hope is that people will get that chronic illness and they'll remember, wait, that's a story. Do I have to fall into that story? Or can I see what my truth is? What is true for me? Because I would say about 90% of people, 95% of the population, it's a really high number, don't know themselves as this deeper essence. They only know themselves as, I have depression, I have cancer. They just completely identify with the human experience, forgetting that we're the awareness of the human experience. And that's a very slow process for some people to really comprehend, because when life is really difficult and challenging, it's hard to remember who we really are. Like, who is Manahil besides her attire, besides her human body, besides her name? You're the one that sees through the eyes. That's the real you. And we just have this exterior appearance, but most of us take that exterior as this is who I am. I am this flesh and blood. No, you're the one that sees through the eyes. And when you know that and you realize that, then you can start to create life on your terms, your way of being, just being authentic from yourself. Because you're not going to be in a place of worry, of doubt, of concern what others think of you. It's just not going to be a priority because you know you. It doesn't matter. It's just a mental story, their mental story. So I don't need to add to their mental story. I want to strip away that mental story and let them see what is true for them.
All right, great, sir. Your goal is very, very wonderful. And thank you so much, sir, for sharing your profound insight and inspiration journey with us today. It's been an enlightening conversation, and I'm sure our audience has gained valuable knowledge and perspective from your experiences. Before we wrap, I'd like to remind our viewers to check out Mr. Baba Sam Shelley's free Facebook group, Relief from Chronic Illness, for daily videos, weekly question answer session, and special events. You can also connect with him on his various platforms to continue learning from his wisdom. Once again, thank you, Mr. Baba Sam, for being with us today for our dedication.
All right. Thank you for having me. Appreciate being here. Peace to all.